Hello, hello. What's going on out there, crypto world? Hope y'all are having a beautiful day. This is No Noise Research with your host, Z-Rex, coming at you live, September 19th, 2018. We're going to chat about some price action here. We had a pretty wild little couple hourly candles that just printed after market close today. And market close, I'm referencing traditional markets and equities. We're going to do kind of a fast one here. I'm not even going to give any news bits or anything like that. We're just going to kind of go straight into the analysis. There's a good meetup, once a month, finance crypto meetup that is about to start in about 30 minutes or so that I will be attending. So I just wanted to give a couple updates since I did miss yesterday and catch up with you guys. So without further ado, let's get it in. Here we are, CoinMarketCap, our favorite place to start. I'm sorry, CoinMarketCap. It's almost like Q-Tip, right? They like branded it Coin Checkup, so I prefer them. But we're looking at the coin crypto market cap. There we go. That's what I meant to say. Here we are floating around this 200. We did just get over it, like not really, but technically, you know, $0.08 billion over. So it's a little bit, but really we've been hovering around this 200 area very tightly. Excuse me. Volume is starting to pick up a little bit here. Nothing really that noteworthy. The biggest one that was kind of noteworthy was this big $40 billion drop in the latter part of the day, which was that big sell-off everyone was saying was due to Goldman Sachs or the wallets or, you know, whatever the hell you want to apply to it. It was just more sellers than buyers in that time frame. That's really all. But anyway, that sell-off had a good increase of volume, and then it had since tapered off while the market has been consolidating, so you're not really getting much info out of that. Bitcoin dominance is still hovering up here around the 50s, mid-50s. I expect it to kind of stay up in the 50s until we make another test, which I would guess to like 60 to maybe 65-ish area to kind of match up over here. I think that's pretty probable. Let's go to the market, just the general market, filter out some of this garbage. We don't need all the garbage. We're going to filter out a lot of it. All right, so the last day, Tezos has been killing it. They've also been killing it the last week, 24% here. Cardano showing some strength today, along with EOS, Dash, Tron, Ethereum Classic, Ripple, and Binance Coin. So the last day, you are seeing a little bit of recovery. Nothing to get excited about yet. Ripple and Tezos notably are the biggest movers up. Ethereum also had a nice bounce after it breached into the low what is it, like 180 or something like that. We'll be checking out some Ethereum here in just a moment. Monero, everything is kind of single digit up mostly in the last week, except for those top outliers here. Tezos, I believe, is going live soon or something like that. That's probably why it's getting a little bit of love. But yeah, in the last day, pretty much only these top 10 or so, not in the top 10 market cap wise, but these are the top 10 movers, again, with EOS, Cardano, and Tezos being the largest. So let's go ahead and just jump into the charts, because there is some interesting stuff going on here. With this daily is closing here in a couple of hours, or an hour and a half. It is a very interesting candle. Let's go ahead and go to big screen. This is a very interesting candle. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit, especially when you zoom in and you look at it on the hourly. It's kind of like, what the hell? I was looking at this here, and I was like, oh crap. Well, if you're long or anything, you better watch out. And then immediately it gets, that little bitch candle gets immediately bought up and engulfed, the whole body of it, on double the volume almost. Down here you can see. And it did blast all the way up to this midterm 144 exponential, and now it is finding support there over the last couple hours. Let's see if it kind of can hold that. We still have 30 minutes on this one. And then we have one more hourly candle before the daily close. To get really bullish on this, guys, to be just short and sweet, I would love to see the daily. You can see this wick went literally right to the top of our purple exponential here and got rejected all the way back below to the 55, right? So that is very telling. But also on the flip side, it got all the way bought back up to pretty much back in the range that we've been in for, if you don't remember. There it is. This green box we've had on here for a long time. We are seeing a lot of volume on this 4-hour candle, probably the most we have seen in quite a while. So that's definitely or noteworthy. The thing that I need to see to stay a little bit positive and optimistic that we're going to get a test up maybe back to this trend line that we have loved so much in the history of the BTC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-ish to 7 times, depending how you count. And so, if this daily can close above the 21 exponential on this move, I think that would be extremely bullish. Don't forget, we do have all the announcements and stuff coming up in the next week or so on the ETFs. Those should be dropping in probably next week, but they can say it whenever they want. So that could they could come out later today or tomorrow morning and say, hey, we're not approving it, or we are. Remember last time, the new information we got from that was not that they were going to pass it, but that they might have a little, what do you call it, cards up their sleeves, little tricks up their sleeves, because the day before their last day of able to announce it, they said it was not going to be passed. And then the next day, they're like, wait, it's under review. So they added the element of surprise a little bit, and they haven't done that in, I don't believe, any of the other rulings thus far. So that is a little bit different. So that's kind of has me thinking that they might do some kind of weird surprise announcement. This price action is very difficult to read, though, especially just in this last day. Even using the DMI, you had some sell signals right in this cluster. Was very good for this nice sell-off. You know, had a little $200 move. And obviously, though, if you didn't take any profits from that, it got completely murdered on the next candle. Quickly, too. It was like really fast. I was like wrapping up some stuff in equity markets and trading, and then I just like noticed, I was like, what the hell? 61? And then I finished up, and I looked back, I was like, what? 64.50? It's like, what the hell? So we are getting a lot of movement here, lots of volume. The thing that does make this slightly more bullish, even if we don't close above, like I said earlier, I want to clear this candle on a daily. So if we close a daily above 65.50, that would be awesome. It's probably not going to happen, but that would be nice. We're probably just going to stay stuck in the damn range until we get ETF news. But right now, don't worry about this candle too much. I know a lot of people are kind of like getting scared and bearish, but considering it was followed by an engulfing candle, it's almost like these have neutralized each other, and guess what? We're just back in the same damn movie here, right in the middle. So don't be too worried about that little flash drop there. You are getting some weakness in the bears. We're on neutral on the daily now. Neutral on the 4-hour. Neutral on the 8-hour, or on the 850. And here's that rare anomaly where you get the bulls and bears above the power zone. That does not happen very often. So that's, I don't really know how to take that yet. That's something that I'm still kind of trying to analyze when I do see those. What I have noticed is when this does happen, a move is going to come out of this very quickly and out of nowhere. So do be aware. Oh crap, sorry about that little bounce there. I hit my mic. Anyway, so do be wary of that. Once one of these, the bulls or bears on the hourly, start diving back into the neutral zone, and hopefully they can get below into the weak zone, that'll give you a clue of who has a little bit more power right now. But it is like extremely neutral right now on the Bitcoin. All right, let's go to Ethereum. and I want to show y'all something on Ethereum that's really standing out to me. Is if we go to like a daily chart, let's just do that. And you can really see it on the 4-hour. Is where I noticed it initially. This cluster of volume down here, and I can make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. There we go. So this cluster of volume here, consecutive cluster too. I mean, this is a really serious amount of volume. I'm really curious to what this is, since we are 90% down from highs and even down about 60% or something from back here. What, or actually more, I'm sorry, this might even be down 75%, but you know what? Instead of just guessing, let's just go look. Yep, 75%. So it's about 75% down even from this local top in May. It's getting beat the F up. Has been. Ethereum's been taking it on the chin this whole time. It's been weaker than all the other top currencies for sure. But now we're getting this. It's been the canary in the coal mine for the downside. We talked about it in the other video. That is it now screaming that it's the canary for the upside now? I don't know. We haven't seen, if you can see these gray shadow right over here, that's a moving average over the volume, and we have not seen volume like this on the average since Ethereum has been traded, except for right here. Okay, one spot right here back in March of 2017 when it started taking off like crazy. It's the only time that we've seen the 20 period moving average with that high of volume. So that is definitely noteworthy to me. I'm not exactly sure how to take that, but it has been sustainable pretty much since August. We've had increasing volume this whole time as sell pressure has been obviously going down. I don't know to take this as capitulation or not. It's very difficult. I kind of want to lean a little bullish for this because we're just at the bottom of this channel and we have sold down 75% in the last couple months. So I do want to be slightly bullish here just because like a lot of people are doing business at this level. At minimum, if you don't want to take trades and you want to kind of be a little bit more cautious and conservative, which there's nothing wrong with that, then I like the idea and I'm thinking about putting this trade on. Let's go ahead and just show it to you with the long short position graph dealy mabopper. It's a technical term if you didn't know. So we're going to go ahead and adjust that a little bit. And one thing that is worthy to note too is this action here is about, we're already finding support at the 618 on these bodies and candles, which is about 190. All right. So that is something interesting, which is also coinciding with the triple exponential blue dots and the blue trend line here. So I'm kind of thinking of a trade like this, entering here, risking maybe about 20 bucks roughly, and targeting the mid part of this channel, which is about 80 bucks or so. All right, so I'm going to leave that on there. We're going to play that out, see what happens. Another thing that we did talk about in the other video was this cluster of candles, and this is a definite hammer. And you know how we talked about in the other video, and I do timestamp all my videos, go please check them out. You can see that I was talking about this being a slight hammer, and it did have lots of volume. Was this a capitulation hammer? But usually you want follow through and something to engulf after that, right after this candle. Traditionally that means it's better for bull power, but we had a weird shooting star inverted hammer after a hammer, and I did discuss that in detail in that last video. Please go check it out. But as you notice here, hammer, high volume, a little bit lower volume, not engulfing, and it was a shooting star. And then a couple days later we had this like late engulfing, but it was on booty volume. It was on about half the volume of this. So now something that's noticeably different on this one is we have the daily on high volume right here, even more volume than back here. We're also at a different support line, more support on this trend line than we are here, and we actually were kind of outside of it, so that is more indicative of a capitulation point. And when we get to this point, as I was just describing back here, we had that candle that I talked about. This is textbook. This is what exactly you want to see for this to be a bottom type hammer, and it is also on more volume up here. You can see that ever so slightly, but definitely more. And then the next candle, they all have been in this top upper range, and most notably holding the 618 retracement of this move. So that to me is a lot different than back over here, which, as you can see, if we measured a 618 on this guy, the first candle barely even made it, and then all the other candles, the bodies and the wicks at the bottom of them were already really close to it. Okay, so that's a little bit different. And yeah, and if you look even too here, the measured move from that was about 200 bucks, which ended up playing out very well. Fibonacci is awesome. If you don't use it, I highly recommend that you do learn about it. Maybe we'll do a little Fibonacci video on here, how I use them, because everybody, of course, this is art, so everyone's a little different. But regardless of that, this did not pan out, and this is not the setup we wanted. This was confusing. I even mentioned that when you have price like this, the market's confused. When you have these inverted or like spinning tops, it's almost like a spinning top if you combined it, sort of, right? So it's giving that same kind of narrative. And then you get this breakout, and I'm putting quotes up. You can't see that, obviously. Soon, I will be doing video soon. But you can see this breakout candle on lower booty volume, and then immediately got rejected to the downside. So you're getting like conflicting information here, and then it went sideways for, you know, a whole nother week and a half, which is exactly what this plays out. And we talked about that on that video, that, well, at least now we know that we have this new range, and it pretty much stayed in that whole range until obviously recently in the beginning of this month. But anyway, here it is. And this is the pattern that you want to see. Now it needs to start doing the follow through ASAP, like yesterday. Maybe not quite yesterday, but pretty damn close to yesterday. Again, you can see here this wick finding support in that low 90s. So that's why I'm kind of putting this right here for my stop on this little trend line area, just below 190. This is a good risk to reward setup, in my opinion. Trade however you want. This is just what I'm doing for education. All right. The daily does look to be like it's going to cross below the power zone too, but you also don't have the bulls getting any more strength either. So, but the most notable thing about the ETH chart is this massive amount of increasing volume, and it's doing it again today. It's big buy candle. And this is pretty neutral volume. You know, you can see a big white candle here, big white candle here, but then there's also, you know, green canceling that one canceling. So maybe it's like 55% or something of sellers. But again, you don't know. Like, if this just has one more sale or buy, then it's going to change that color of that candle. So it's not, I wouldn't get too involved in looking at that. Just make sure you look at if it's higher than average, which is why I draw this volume chart like this. So when I see them poking above the little gray area, then I know that it's more than average and it's a little bit more notable. But we are showing pretty massive divergence though on all of the indicators that I use, volatility metrics, on the DMI, and on everybody's favorite, tried and true though, the RSI. So do be very keen to that. If I had to choose a position, I would get long here over short. This move is already very, very large to the downside, and your risk to reward isn't that great after such a big move to the downside. Again, though, we have not been over the 21 exponential on a daily for quite some time. So as soon as we do that, I imagine we will pop to the 55 exponential like almost immediately. So, but do be wary of this awesome divergence here. You got some right about there. Let's take off the extension, keep the chart a little clean. You got some a little bit right there, and you know, clearly, like, look at this price action, right? So you got way lower prices, and you're getting this divergence here as well. And I guess it would make more sense for people to probably see it on this if you don't know about DMI. You got that on the bottom there. You can also, instead of the RSI, you can use the green one here, and you could do something the exact same way, like so. So you are seeing this upward, and it's a pretty significant amount, especially for this move down. All right, so do be careful here. If you are short, it's probably not the worst idea to take some money off the table. That's what I would do. I don't really care what you would do, but that's what I would do. All right, let's go look at Litecoin. The Litecoin, man. No volume, not anything like ETH. Which, if you also notice real quick, Bitcoin's not even showing volume like that. There's some, but not in the recent month. I mean, Ethereum could definitely be the canary in the coal mine for both sides. It was for the downside, and is it going to be the same for the long side? I don't know. Time will tell. We are finding a little support on this trend line, although it's kind of ratcheting down it and getting rejected. We are about to cross over on the 21 on the longest term. Not a big concern. That's more concerning when the orange and the purple cross below that. But man, yeah, guys, this is like some hidden, I guess maybe not hidden divergence, but there's definitely some divergence here because you got flatlined here, and price just keeps going down. So it's just slight divergence, right? There's nothing really on the Litecoin chart that's too interesting. You've got bearish on the daily, neutral on the 3-day, neutral on the 4-hour, neutral on the 1-hour, and bearish on the 850. So there's only one time frame that's a little bit bearish. And again, though, it's clustering. This is basis. We've talked about this a lot. When you do this sideways crap like this, like we have been kind of for this whole month, except for this little pop here, I mean, that's pretty much sideways in crypto. You really just need to play the ranges. The oscillators aren't going to tell you too much until more time goes by. And as you can see, they have tried to help us out a little bit. But again, you know, when you're only moving like these $2 or $3, and since I don't really go below an hourly time frame, I guess if you traded like 30 minutes, you might be getting some more stuff, but that's too noisy for me. I pretty much only go to the hour, and I only enter trades on 4-hour, generally speaking. Hour is just good to maybe manage. I might take some off if I start seeing the weakness, especially because you'll be able to see it faster when the hourly gets into the upper power range above 20s, mid-20s on the DMI indicator. And you'll see that before big price moves happen almost every single time. Of course, outlier moves happen, and it won't get it. But even here, got it. Here, didn't get it. So there's one place where it did not get it. But you have other factors too. Don't just use one indicator. You know, you've got this coming up on the middle of the channel, which has been resistance for a long time. You want a confluence of indicators, guys. That's what gives you the best results and lowest risk. All right, let's go to the ripples. And then I'll be wrapping up here shortly. Sorry for the shorter video, but hey, maybe people like shorter videos. I don't know. We are clustering here. This definitely looks kind of, probably more so on the hourly. Yeah, you're kind of flagging out right here. So it looks to me that Ripple's actually pretty damn bullish as long as it holds above 30 cents. So, and there has been some really good volume here too. I think XRapid's going live any day now, so that's probably what that's for. Yeah, this is flagging out, but it is hitting this gray trend line that goes all the way back to April. So that last good run that we had. So there is going to be hardcore resistance there, and not too far away from that is the longest term moving average exponential here at about 35 cents, which is where you can see we've had this alert over here at 36 cents for a while to get bullish on that. Risk reward wise though, if you nibbled on this down here, great job. That was slick trading there. Yeah, because you're getting pretty decent divergence here, and on the daily it's about to be positive. It's bullish on the 4-hour, neutral on the 1-hour, bullish on the 850, so that's nice. And it's still bearish on the 3-day, but So we're kind of still a little neutral, maybe leaning slightly to the bullish side, but we really need to close above that 36 area for me to get excited. All right, EOS. EOS is basing here really nicely out of this channel. You can see it came and tapped up here at the top, tapped at the bottom, tapped in the mid-range again, and now we're just going sideways from that range. And y'all, like, we've been talking about this for a while. EOS has mad support here in the high upper fours. So keep that in mind. If we can break this daily 21 exponential again, we should have some legs. I would think if we can do it one more time, we'll have legs to test maybe the outer bounds of this channel. Because it looks like it's going to take another couple days to do that. And then those lines, if you can kind of see where I'm projecting that out, if I drag this out a little bit, and if it goes by another few days and price just stays here, it's going to clash with this. So this isn't really a good target, plus it's only like 20 cents away. So a better target's going to be this longer term moving exponential, which is the red line, and it also coincides with the tops of this move and the bottoms of these moves, which is about $6.50. So if we can break the daily on the 21 or break out of this channel, whichever comes first, it's likely to test that 630 level. All right, let's just go look at the Doge. The Doge. Oh, finally dumping a little bit. And guess what, guys? I noticed, sorry I didn't make the video yesterday. We would have talked about this on the 4 hour, but if you're learning how I use DMI, then you would have been able to catch this yourself, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to tell you go long or short or do any of that, because that doesn't work in the long run. You need to learn how to trade yourself, and then you can find your own setups and manage your own risks and be a better trader that way, instead of like, oh, what's your call, man? What do I do? Tell me, TA gods. This doesn't really work like that. As you can see on the 4 hour DMI, we have been bullish since back here at 40 sats. We have been bullish pretty much the entire time since right here, guys. Since 90. Oh crap, that's not what I meant to do. Wrong button. Since mid 90s, let's just call it 100. Since about 100 sats, the bulls lost their momentum as the bears came up here and got into the neutral zone together. As you can see here, this is what I like to see in rallies that will persist, is when the bears get into the weak zone while the bulls have here. And that it's on the flip side too. That goes both ways. But yeah, you can see here it went neutral, distributed some monies right here, and then actually got bearish right here at the same time that it crossed the 55. So that's what I said earlier about confluence of indicators, and when you get something like that, it gives you really good risk to reward setups. Or in this case, maybe you got long somewhere in this. This could be your trigger to be like, all right, I got to get out. It is bouncing notably off of the midterm moving average here, the purple exponential, almost to the T. So that seems to be good support now. If you want to hold this long, I don't have a position in Doge, but if I did, I would definitely be stopping it out at 80. I probably would have already stopped out though as soon as this broke and waited for re-entry. All right, so that is Doge. Be careful. And if you just zoom in to the hourly gave weakness signs about the same time, around $100. So there you go. DMI, powerful, powerful indicator. All right, let's go to XMR. Let's see how the privacy coins are doing. Still bearish, very bearish on the 1 hour since about here. It's still, everything did that, which is weird. Everything participated in this little dump and pump. Yeah, so I don't know, that's really, really confusing me. I'm sure it is a lot of people. The only thing that gives me a little bit of more bias to the bullish side, or temporary bullish side, is that Ethereum has a lot of volume. Unless Ethereum is about to just go to $100, like, which could totally happen. Don't forget, that is the measured move off that bear flag. You could do like the bear flag, pull it down, do the measured move. That's where it lines up. So do be careful on that one. That said, nothing too exciting about XMR. Yeah, don't really like anything there. You are getting some volume. Nothing to really scream about. Not like back here, it was just like green, 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 green all the way, mother effers. Yeah, so I didn't do that. But nothing has volume like that except for Ethereum. Canarium. We do have all the damn moving averages stacking on each other for the last couple days. So, large move incoming. Again, it definitely is probably just waiting. Definitely, probably. That makes sense. It probably is waiting on ETF news coming out here next week. All right, Dash. And then we're going to wrap it up. Wrap it up. Actually, I do want to talk about one more thing in equities. So Dash, look at it coming into this area that we drew. We figured it would kind of cross over. Now it needs to get the momentum back up so it doesn't cross back below this trend line. It is finding lots of support at this trend line cross, though, which is at about 180 bucks. So this actually doesn't look like a terrible risk to reward play. Let's draw that on here, actually. So since we're talking about that 180 level, if we go down to like this body of close, right here's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to target the purple exponential here, which also coincides with like these tops. So you're talking about a $13 risk for a target of about 74 bucks. And I think that's very reasonable right here. And that risk to reward ratio is really nice, 5.5. Of course, it doesn't mean you're going to get it, right? But I like to set them up that way. I talk about a lot of these in other videos. Please do check those out, and how I set those up and what I'm looking for in general. I usually want at least 2.5 to 1 risk to reward, usually 3. And sometimes I do manage them, especially if I can get them like this where they're 5 and good entries. Then I will probably manage part of this trade, like half of it at this top, and then take the rest of it off there, which is a really good habit to kind of get into. Scaling out and scaling in, both important. It removes a lot of the emotional and FOMO crap. All right, so here are equities. They are teetering on with breaking out. We've been talking about this in the last videos that I was going to be a buyer on any sell-offs. We've been ratcheting up this 21 exponential, so that trade has been working out fairly well. And we also talked about how I believe that there's going to have to be a headline where it's like all new markets at all-time highs right before the election to give everybody euphoria. That's just generally what I've seen a lot of times in trading. And also we mentioned this, the Dow was a laggard and still looks strong, but it just hadn't caught up yet. We talked about a pairs trade on the Dow, which is getting long the Dow and shorting one of the other major indices. It's very nice for lowering your risk by a lot. And so as you can see, this has been playing out very nicely. We have a big move coming up. The Dow is trying to catch up and is now only a couple hundred points from all-time highs. So a nice rally here could easily happen in the next day or two to make this happen where we can get that headline. It seems to be coming to fruition. The volume on this is real silly. Looks like it's like robots are just trading this. 4 hour, very bullish on the Dow. Daily is bullish. 3-day is bullish. Weekly is about to get extra bullish, and the hourly is fairly bullish as well. So you're getting all kinds of bullish. About 850 since we went down the whole kick caboodle there. Also bullish on the 850. So this is kind of playing out. I'm still long these guys. I'm just kind of waiting for that headline, and then I'll probably scale out once that news hits. Let's go to gold. It is having a little bit of love here, consolidating at the 21 exponential. The one thing that I do like about gold right now is it's gotten back to neutral on the daily, and it's starting to be a little bit bullish on the 4 hour. But one thing I am noticing is GDX, which is the ETF for the miners. They usually run first. As you can see here, they've based out. We talked about them over here. I started selling some put spreads in GDX and gold equivalents after this sell-off. I just thought the risk reward was pretty good. The last few days they have come in all right, and now this close on this daily is showing me above the 21 exponential, which we haven't seen since July, mid-July, by the way. That is telling me that we're probably going to run up here to about $16.50 to $20. So I'm kind of looking for that move. All right, let's go to oil. Oil is on fire. It's been looking pretty damn good, which like I talked about before, my position actually has short delta, so this is definitely giving me some heat a little bit. But it is a longer term position. It's a strangle too, so it's not super crazy. But in that video, I did talk about the monthly actually crossing up and looking pretty damn bullish. So am I kicking myself for not managing that a little bit better? Yeah, maybe. But in that trade style, I can't cross trade strategies, and with this strategy, that's not how you play it. So I'm not really mad about it. You just got to keep waiting. And these are long-term plays. I'm usually in these trades for a month or so. And someday I'll go over that strategy, but not at the moment. We are ratcheting up this channel here. And it is showing a little bit of strength. We are bullish on the daily, bullish on the 4-hour, bullish, very bullish on the 1 hour, and even bullish on the 850. How about on the 3-day? Did we look at the 3-day? 3-day is neutral. And weekly is very neutral. So yeah, this is actually looking like a pretty damn bullish chart. It is starting to form, it looks like a slight wedge, maybe, I don't know. This is probably just my confirmation bias. Yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit there. But whatever, it has been looking bullish, especially after we broke out above this 21, found it as support, and then have rocketed since then. It looks kind of like we have a decent, wow, this candle had like no volume on it. That's interesting. And this one had very low volume. That's interesting. But it looks like we probably are making a run maybe to get up here and test these local highs. So this is also looking like a loose head and shoulders too. Here, 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 here. And no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not a head and shoulders. All right, Bitcoin, final thoughts. And we out. Again, this candle, if we can close the daily, it doesn't look like it's going to happen as it is already 6 o'clock. So we only have one more hour. Although a lot can happen in an hour, of course. Let's go ahead and just look at it on the hour. We're still finding support on the 144 moving average, as you can see here, the purple line. And then we also are having the blue dots here. They are ratcheting up the stop too, which is kind of coming in together into this cluster. So there's a good case that this could be charging up for a little run up to maybe like that 6,600 level again. Obviously, we know we have lots of resistance there. It tried to even get there a minute ago and got slapped. But this daily, as I said earlier, if it can get above and close in this upper part of the bodies, preferably over this wick, about 6,500 or so, that would be very bullish for me. No one knows shit. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but right now the chart is kind of building that way. The only thing that this is a crazy ass candle. It's kind of like a wide ass spinning top. I'm not even really sure. That's not a very regular candle, even in the Bitcoin world. So, maybe we just redefined the damn range that we've been in, because if we go look on the daily, look at that, it's like ranging the middle of our box, which is where all the damn business has been. Anyway, geez, I know it's getting boring as hell. There is one pattern here that does look to be forming, is possibly a bear flag right here, so do be careful about that. Really though, all you need to be watching here is closes above here or below there and closes above there. It's really simple, guys. Don't overthink this stuff, and also be ready to change your mind whenever that does happen. Okay, so right here, this is kind of negated by these two candles, so we're just in the same chop area. Nothing too exciting, pretty wild moves. The biggest thing though is Ethereum and the volume that it's showing. It's meaning something. I'm not sure. I want to lean bullish on it, especially with this divergence. So maybe Ethereum has been the canary for both ways. It's the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot unicorns, man. Don't do that. Unicorn shirt, man. Alright, well, with that said, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll edit this video later when I get home tonight. I won't have time to do it now. I need to get dressed and book it. But again, no noise research. I am Z-Rex. It's been a pleasure. I hope you got something out of the videos. If you did, please subscribe. Sub, bell, and smash it, y'all. And do remember that I timestamp all my other videos so you can quickly browse through all of them. And only watch what you really want to. Because I know I love that in my videos when I watch my favorite YouTube peeps. Alright, guys. So, the ETH volume monster is here. Y'all take care.